get started our regular meeting. We'll start with the board member roll call. Quinn Ward.
Here.
Jenna Reckenbach.
Here.
Tyler Winston.
Here.
Heidi Wintermute. Here. Grace Lehman. Here. And Marissa Custer is here. All right, we will start with our pledge of allegiance. We envision the flag right there.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our vision statement is to strive for a learning environment that partners with the community, fully prepare lifelong learners to thrive in a complex world. Our mission statement is to engage with students, families, staff, and community members as we provide accessible, relevant, and meaningful educational experiences. We'll move on to item 2, our community and student recognition.
Do you want me to go ahead and read, or do you want to? Oh, what do you want?
Okay. So the Astoria School Board is proud to recognize 2 outstanding student athletes, senior Quinn Gore and sophomore Clara Moore. Last spring, Clara had a phenomenal season, earning a state championship title in the triple jump as a freshman, which was insane. Anyway, we'll get through that. Okay. Quinn also had a great season and captured the 400-meter state championship title, a remarkable achievement for any athlete. We are also excited to welcome Quinn as this year's Astoria High School Student Board representative. Both of these dedicated students achieved great success and represented Astoria High School with character and pride. Their accomplishments reflect their hard work, dedication, and the strong support of their coaches, families, and our community. We congratulate Quinn and Clara and look forward to celebrating their future successes. More state championships. All right. And we have these, the video of these accomplishments that we just watched.
Caldera and Mr. Wayne Garcia, Centennial, Clunky has cleared this bar.
Attending from the track is the finals of the 5A Boys 110-meter hurdles. The NLA 1 is a junior from Silverton, Logan O'Neill. The NLA 2 senior from Grayson Jackson. And the current junior from Churchill, Nicholas Miller. The NLA 4 senior from Centennial, Ken Song. The NLA 5 senior from Thurston, Tyler Rader. The NLA 6 a junior from Milwaukee, Logan White. Lane 7 junior from Corvallis, Logan Betches. And lane 8 sophomore from Summit, Trace Chenoweth. Those are the finalists. 5A Boys 110-meter hurdles.
And if I remember correctly, big time. Yes. Awesome. Sorry.
Well, Wayne Garcia. And we also been next on Pendergrove Master, excited.
Yeah.
And she's now a freshman, correct, at Oregon. Yeah, and participated in track, correct?
Yes.
When, we said that. Mr. Jackson, what's your name? Jen to say about this.
Mabry. Don't yell.
Which lines put in?
Racers get set, and we're underway in the 4A boys 400 meters finals with a clean start.
The white hair in the lead. Yeah.
He's like third to last.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not
Good
there.
movement by Cohen Rushton on the inside lane by Marist. As John Thatcher of Pendleton trying to hold off the runners on the inside. Looks like Quinn Gore of Astoria now. We'll see who hits the backstretch first. It looks like Drew Granity of Marist out in the lead. In the third lane, Quinn Gore though. Quinn Gore out in front, charging with Cohen Rushton. And Quinn Gore looks like he edges out Cohen Rushton at the final moment. Quinn Gore a 50.46, Rushton 50.52, Bushnell 50.82.
So congratulations, athletes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh.
Do it. Yes.
Come on, Grace.
Feel short.
Where are we doing it back here? You wanna go up here? Oh, okay. Oh, we're just squeezing together?
So we do it.
That's perfect.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, and now item 3, we go on to our AHS student representative, Quinn Gore.
So I'm Quinn Gore. I play football, basketball, and track. Currently in the works of getting my associate's degree before I graduate high school. I'm a member in our leadership class, and I enjoy beach volleyball, surfing, and fishing. What's happened so far in our fall sports is football has played 2 games, as well as volleyball. Volleyball is 2-0. The soccer girls have played 1 game in the jamboree, and the boys have played 2 games. Cross country has started, and at Ultima, our, I guess, leader in a way, Will Layman, took second at his race. We also had 9th grade orientation. It was amazing race style with clues on to get you to the next classroom, where there was different stations on how students would get to know their classmates and teachers better, or learn things about our school, like our alma mater, where things are located, and what we do in the country. Theater had auditions on Monday and Tuesday of this week. The fall play is You Can't Take It With You, and there's an undetermined date when this will be performed. Some upcoming events we have is football goes to the Dalles on Friday. Cross country goes to Merriweather Golf Course. Volleyball has a tournament in Sprague. Soccer has their first home game on Thursday, September 11th against Estacada. And the leadership class for the school is holding class elections for ASB and class representatives. Some of the positions are business manager, activities director, member at large, and a president from the senior and junior class, with 2 representatives and 3 representatives from the freshman and sophomore class. For homecoming, the theme is high school musical. There will be classic clash games for soccer and volleyball. We will have our annual buoy ball and bonfire ball, which is where the boys play volleyball and the girls play football, and a possible football game depending on if our opponent has enough people.
So the football game. Who we slated to play?
I believe it's Gladstone, but they have 20 football players right now. So they forfeited their first couple of games.
Great, thank you. Item 4 is our consent agenda. This is an action item.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Aye. Item 5 is reports. Start with administrative reports.
Astoria got to hire a teacher at the end of August, which is a situation that I've never been in before, but I found a gem. So I was so thankful. Her first day in town, like Monday before conferences. And she's great. She's really thankful about her. I'll be wearing athleisure for a couple months, because we're ready. I mean, anytime you have 125 people under the age of 5 and under, we're moving. And so that's what we're doing. It's just, it happens every year. There's just a lot of learning, about, you can't say no to your teacher. You need to speak to yourself and all of that. So that's what we're doing right now. And it's definitely best and biggest.
Well, I'm grateful for Kate's hard work because we just have a really great start. Kids are coming in really solid, really ready to learn. Classrooms are going smoothly. Yeah, it's been really good. I've been able to be in classrooms while they're teaching our reading curriculum, and one of the really cool things I've seen is that the curriculum refers back to the previous year, and teachers will talk about a unit that they had last year, and the kids are all like, oh yeah, we totally did that. We totally talked about that. So the excitement is almost immediate, and there's lots of engagement. Been really pleased with how smoothly things are going right now.
So just like Eva said, I got hold of Eva last Friday and told her how tickled we are with our incoming 6th graders. It's been amazing. The start to the school year has come very smoothly. The kids are just picking it up, and staff it's all vibing so well. This week we have pretty much wrapped up our star testing. There's a few kids that we need to make up. Our attendance, Randy's working real hard, and she's going out there, and as Mr. Hoppus mentioned, there's some kids that we have relationships with. So right now, that's our biggest obstacle, is trying to get students that historically have had issues back into school. So that's our biggest obstacle. All of our sports are up and going. We had our jamboree last weekend. It went really well. It's a big fundraiser for our PTA, and so thanks, they went out there and manned that. But everything's off and running, and it's going great.
I'll continue the theme. Thank you, Principal Breck. It has been a smooth beginning for our school year with the incoming freshman class. They are very dialed in. They have a great reputation, to tell you the truth, coming in as students. So we have found that to be true, and we're excited to welcome them to Astoria High School. One of the things that we have as a strategic plan pillar is our workforce, right? That's the pillar that we have. And one of the things that has been solidified in the master schedule and culture of Astoria High School is the cadet or careers in education program. And this year, again, I think it could be the largest number of students we have. We have 26 of them that are spread throughout K2, 3, 5, and then 6, 8 at the middle school. But this year we expanded it to participate in Bumble. So we have a number of students that are placed there for their locations of mentoring and doing that cadet teaching program. So we're really excited about that. And there are other points on the agenda later on today that I'll discuss.
So I ran some preliminary numbers from the stressful ed department, and it feels like we kind of know a little bit to expect the unexpected in the beginning of the year, but we have had a lot of families move in with children who have special education needs. And so I want to share a number with you and then kind of provide some context for that. All in all, all students receiving special ed services as of right now, are 355. And, that's comparing that to the last couple numbers I could get, which were board presentations, that's one more than we had last April. The tricky thing with that number though, is we also lost one whole class of seniors. So typically at this point in the year, and I don't have last year's data, I can get that, but I couldn't get it today, but typically with that loss of the senior class and referrals not yet happening at Astor, we're usually a lot lower than this. So we're basically, last December, we were at 17% of our population was receiving special education work funded for 11%. In April, we were at 19%, and now we're at 20%. So we're starting the year at 20%, and we're gonna have referrals. So it's just something that we're keeping an eye on and working through.
So beginning of the year for me is really just about making sure teachers have all the curriculum and can access it online. So just a lot of problem solving the last couple of weeks, but I think we're pretty much there. I got a lot of really good feedback about our district-wide service. And then we're already starting to plan the next one on October 10th. And I'm just really excited through the new literacy grant that we got through the government federal government, that we were able to get a reading specialist at the reading interventionist at the middle school. And she's off to a really great start.
We're currently serving around 1,080 meals a day. It's a little bit less than we did last year. I think last year we did about 1,200. We're testing some new items on the menus. We're doing like these salad shakers at the high school that have the fruits and vegetables, hard-boiled eggs, and they're going pretty well. We got barbecue teriyaki chicken and brown rice bowls that are coming to the schools. Hopefully they like those. And then all of the kitchen staff finished their required professional development training already for the year.
And transportation is going really well. It's a good start to the school year. We had about 75 people on the wait list, and they're all on the wait list as of today, but a couple have joined. So we have more to fill, that's it.
We closed out last year, we did 288 more orders. Last year, in all of our buildings. And we're moving forward with this year. I'm so great, we still fit. Put on a t-shirt. Take orders.
All right, thank you, guys. Item B and C were covered during the board study session, so we'll move on to item D, the finance report.
So in the board packet, I kind of went over a little bit of description of a couple of different terms that we often talk about, just either a refresher or new people. We often talk about cash flow, and that is the net amount of cash we have in our banks on a certain day. Usually it's the last day of the month. And we need to monitor that to make sure that we have enough cash in our banks to cover expenses, because our revenue coming in is not at a consistent basis. So it's just something that we have to keep an eye on. But I didn't want it confused with when we're talking about our ending fund balance. Often that's a big topic towards the end of the year. And normally it's just referred to as far as the general fund, because then that is rolled into the next year. And the ending fund balance is after you take all of your revenue for the year minus your expenditures, and what are you left with? Just a couple of terms to go over. I'm sure everyone heard that the September revenue forecast was not spectacular, and so we are just keeping an eye on it, very closely monitoring our budget for this year. But so far, everything is starting off well. Our first big payroll is September 30th, and so I'm always very anxious for that to be finalized and I can finally really see how the budget is doing. First big payroll and everyone's benefits have been entered for the year. And one thing I wanted to mention on, so it would be the second graph, the second page, the blue, green, gray. The first page is revenues, the second page is expenses. And there, it looks like we had a significant rise this year compared to the last 2 years in purchase services and supplies, but that is all this timing. Really, it's just because we have to get bills paid a little faster in July, and so in a few months that will even out. It's not that we're spending more, it's just was timing of payments. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
All right, item 6 is patron comments and questions. At this time, I'd like to invite any member of the audience that submitted public comment to prepare to speak with comments about items of interest or concern this evening. Patrons were asked to submit public comments prior to the meeting. We will take the comments in order received. Please begin by stating your name, and if you live in the school district, it would be appreciated if you would limit your comments to 3 minutes so that we can keep the meeting moving in a timely fashion and allow others an opportunity to speak. We ask that you remember that the Oregon law prohibits us from discussing specific employees or their job performance. Thank you for supporting our school district. And we have one. We have Carl Holberg.
Good evening. Carl Hilbert. I live in the school district. You're probably all familiar with me in some way. My oldest son's a freshman, my youngest son's in 4th grade. Well, I missed the last meeting in 3rd, 4th grade football, so they try to keep a bunch of 3rd, 4th graders occupied for 30 seconds as a task teaching football. When I got home, I watched the video of the school board meeting, and I was a little bit concerned with the discussion, the topic of the housing initiative. So I'll point back to, this has been tried once, at least I'm aware of before, the Ash Apartments down here, which I actually don't know what the name is anymore, between Coast Guard Exchange and the Old Youngs Bay Bridge. That started out as a housing project for the college, for students and faculty. We see how that turned out. For years, that thing's been a slum. When I was a state trooper, we'd go there all the time. Drugs, domestic violence, horrible place. The college, I don't know the details around it, but obviously couldn't manage, got rid of it. Been through multiple hands. So when I look at this kind of project, I can't even spit hard enough to see where it's in the strategic plan. I mean, if I stand and they fold me up, I just don't see it. The school district, it's so far outside of our mandate of academic schooling that it just can't make it there. Legally, I don't think you want to get in want to get into the housing market. There's being a landlord, legal issues. I get the intent, but it's so fraught with legal issues that I just don't know who would actually, we have to hire another person to manage it. What's that, when I get in, I'm getting into cost. Financially, that's a sinkhole for us. 3 years ago, I think we had the ESSER funding, we stepped down about $1 million a year. Last year, this last budget cycle was a pretty significant cut. Our expenses rose more than our revenues, steady cuts. We just heard the budget forecast is not looking good. We're doing tons of work on our facilities now. Thankfully, in this budget, we didn't have to cut anything for facilities maintenance, which was awesome. So I would just urge you as the body to not just walk away from this, but to run here. It's nothing but problems and money and legal issues that we don't have time to have. We need to be working on our educational program. Stuff like the work study session with our goals, improving test scores, preparing our kids as they go through the black box Astoria School District from a kindergartner to a graduate, making the best we can, not getting it happen. So that's my point.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Carl. All right, there's no further comments for tonight on those. We move on to item 7, which is just information. Move on to item 8, unfinished business, with an action item.
We'll move to approve the business.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. We'll move on to item 9, new business. I'll start with the OSCA contract approval.
So last, I don't know, May, we started negotiating what's classified and finished up in middle to the end of July. I shared with the board like a 3-page document that provides a summary of negotiations. I think the contract was in the packet also, but I tried to help with the process. I know Jenna and Maritza were in that process, as well as a couple of administrators, and I know Candy want to say anything about the process. I think some things I'm excited for. I think together we made some good decisions around insurance for classified. It's really going to be good for them. It actually keeps some money in their pocket. So, but it's not going to cost, it shouldn't cost the district money, but it's going to keep money in your pocket because we won't have to take money out of their pocket for insurance. So, I'm excited about that. And they've already approved it, correct?
It's ratified.
Yeah.
This is an action item.
I'll move to approve the OSCA contract approval.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right. Item B is the CC clinical affiliation agreement with nursing.
Yeah, so it comes to us every 5 years. Trying to get to it. There's a letter I received on August 20th that just approves our relationship with the college as it has to do with the clinical agreement to allow our students to enroll in the nursing or allied health courses, which we do offer in high school. Just puts it into action and allows it to, I didn't know I did this until I got this in August, so I don't think we need to go through and read the whole thing, but just approve it if the board's okay with it.
This is an action item as well.
I'll move to approve the CCC clinical affiliation agreement in nursing.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Item C is higher education and career path skills graduation requirement rate waiver.
Yeah, so this is just a half-page memo from me to the board that talks about a new graduation requirement. Mr. Jackson, do you want to explain this? You know better than I do.
So Senate Bill 3 instituted 2 additional courses, each a half credit. So 1 additional credit of required graduation courses to be taken and completed. One of those courses is personal finance, which we have had as a part of the Astoria School District's graduation requirements for quite some time. So that one was an easy lift. The second one was a graduation requirement titled Higher Education and Career Path Skills. And what that entails are 14 different standards that need to be taught to students prior to graduating. The credit is required to be implemented for the graduating class of 2027, this year's juniors. However, there is an option to ask for a waiver to postpone that for 1 year for the graduating class of 2028. I'm coming to the board seeking that request for postponement for 1 year as we are trying to balance our staffing and a very full master schedule already, and ascertaining where to remove what electives in order to backfill this with those graduation requirements. To understand what we are looking at doing, we are taking our freshman transitions class, which is now going to be called College and Career Exploration, of which 9 of those 14 standards will be met. And then their junior year, they will have a part 2 section of that, which will be called College and Career Readiness, of which students will be doing things that are more developmentally appropriate for their age at that time and very applicable. How to fill out college applications, how to do an enhanced resume, those types of tasks, letters of recommendation, etc. So they will be doing that their junior year. We're trying to balance how do we successfully implement those last 5 standards. As such, we're asking the board to approve that waiver for 1 year as we continue to move forward with those credit requirements.
Okay, so is that class implemented this year, in place of,
College and career exploration is implemented in place of freshman transitions. We started that last year. So that class, that's the class of 28, right? So when they're juniors next year, we'll implement the college and career readiness. But this year's junior class doesn't have that dialed in quite right. So that's why we're asking for that postponement to allow for that sequential progression.
What happens to kids that come from out of the district?
That's a good question, isn't it? So that's not going to be any different really than out of district. I'm not concerned about.
Well, out of state,
yeah, could be a challenge. So we will probably have them take the junior class and demonstrate all 14 standards in a proficiency-based model and move forward that way.
so in our, oh, waiver, never mind, answer my own question.
And if the board approves it, then I have to log on to ODE and fill out a waiver agreement form, but I need to have a date that says the board approved this action on such and such a date.
So I move to approve the proclamation for student attendance, higher education and career path skills graduation requirement waiver.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right. We'll move on to item D, proclamation for students' attendance awareness.
Well, I think we bring this every September to the board, but we do have some plans for advertising it out as discussion earlier about attendance.
Do we need to read it?
John, yes.
Is this also the, I move to, I just do the proclamation? Okay. Just get on with it. Proclamation for student attendance awareness. Whereas good attendance is essential to student achievement and graduation, and we are committed to dedicating our resources and attention to reducing chronic absenteeism rates with a focus starting as early as kindergarten. Whereas chronic absence, missing 10% or more of school for any reason, including excused and unexcused absences, or just 2 or 3 days a month, is a proven predictor of academic trouble and dropout rates. Whereas improving attendance and reducing chronic absence takes commitment, collaboration, and tailored approaches to particular challenges and strengths in each community. Whereas chronic absence predicts lower 3rd grade reading proficiency, course failure, and eventual dropout, it weakens our communities and our local economy. Whereas the impact of chronic absence hits low-income students and children of color particularly hard if they don't have the resources to make up for lost time in the classroom and are more likely to face systemic barriers to getting to school, such as unreliable transportation, lack of access to healthcare, unstable or unaffordable housing. Whereas chronic absence exacerbates the achievement gap that separates low-income students from their peers, since students from low-income families are both more likely to be chronically absent and more likely to be affected academically by missing school. Absenteeism also undermines efforts to improve struggling schools, since it's hard to measure improvement in classroom instruction if students are not in class to benefit from them. Whereas schools and community partners can reach out more frequently, to absent students to determine why they are missing school and what would help them attend more regularly. Whereas chronic absence can be significantly reduced when schools, parents, and communities work together to monitor and promote good attendance and address hurdles that keep children from getting to school. Now therefore be it resolved that as the Board of Education of the Astoria School District, we proclaim that we are committed to working with students and families to help with reducing chronic absenteeism. We hereby commit to focusing on reducing chronic absenteeism to give all children an equitable opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. Specifically, we will, 1, make clear that improved student attendance is one of our school district's top priorities among all of our student teachers and school leaders. 2, use data to raise public awareness, establish targets and goals, track progress, and assure accountability. 3, engage parents and the community, including civic and elected leaders, local businesses, clergy members, and nonprofit organizations to help us spread the message that good attendance matters and help us come up with solutions to ensure all children are in school as much as possible. Dated this 10th day of September, 2025.
I'll move to approve proclamation for student attendance awareness 2025-2026.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Item E and F, I believe were reviewed during the study session. So we'll move on to item G. Policy regarding immunization, school, sports participation, concussion, and other brain injuries.
Yeah, so a couple things on this. This is the first reading, but about a week or so ago, I sent this policy out to nurses and some other staff who would impact. And I didn't hear anything back, but it's not because they didn't have anything to say. So I will reach back out and say, to make sure that they're aware of it and that it fits with the work they do. Because protocol in writing and policy around concussions is new to us. I think they've had them before for sports and other things, but nothing in policy. So I will double check with nurses and others who deal with this. If there's any changes, I'll bring that back as part of the second reading.
All right, we'll move on to item 10, comments for the good of the order. Start with superintendent office.
I think I had a good opening to school. I got to spend the first 3 days guiding kindergartners. It's okay until they started crying, then had other staff swoop in and take them from me, so. But it was good. We haven't talked a lot about enrollment, which is a big deal. Our 10th day, I want to say, is tomorrow. Monday is our 10th day when we're required to do drop kids. Even though we drop them, we don't stop looking for them, but we should know more about enrollment. Pretty steady at Astoria, kid that I talked about today a little bit. I think we're up a little bit at the high school. I'm not sure about the other schools. I haven't dived into it because I have to wait till the 10th day. Also, we talked about in the study session the federal programs, and we also talked about the revenue forecast. I think on September 29th here, when OSBA comes and does their presentation, there's quite a bit of talk from them on those two areas. So if you don't have enough information, they'll provide you enough information. So, but it's been a good start of the year. That's all I have.
I just wanted to put a plug to whoever that we're always looking for substitutes. We go through a third-party company, ESS, all substitutes, cafeteria helpers, custodial, instructional assistants, and teachers. You know anyone? Send them our way.
That's Hey, you wanna say
I know it's not my turn to talk, but I just wanted to, I'm a little upset. And I appreciate Carl and I agree with potentially the housing thing. But, at Astor, one of our goals is to protect, to support, and to help kids thrive. And I have kids who live in some of these housing places, and I am the last person to critique choices of words, but I don't want my kids to think that we call their homes slums. I don't think that's right at all. And I'm sure that wasn't the intent, because I say all kinds of things that are not intent, but I think we need to be careful where we talk about where kids come from. So I think potentially to go back to house. So.
Thank you. We'll start with our board members. Well, Quinn, would you like to say anything?
No, I'm good.
I'm still hungry, isn't it? Yeah.
Greta?
Thank you, Quinn and Claire, for giving us something to celebrate. It's actually a lot of fun watching you at track meets and all your sports activities. Yeah. So thanks for representing us well. Thanks for your work on the homeschool page. That seems to be pretty good. And I don't know, gotten reports that it seems like there's an uptick from the feelings I get and conversations with people, just taking some classes and taking advantage of some of the programs that, especially the middle school and high school, I don't know about the.
I was gonna share, and I forgot, it wasn't on my list, but I had a middle school counselor told me that most homeschool, they don't have data for me, because it was true, it's most homeschool kids that registered for classes here and there. So it's good.
Yeah.
There's more to do.
So it's pretty exciting. And with that, just getting reports, I guess mostly at the high school, because that's where I have a student, but there's a lot of new faces in the school. So kind of the feeling that there's more students and it's getting the impression from other school districts around the area coming here. It just seems like there's excitement and our graduation rate, just some of those things that matter to the public. I don't know. It just feels like there's a sense of excitement to be part of the Astoria school district. And so, I don't know, I feel like that's building and hopefully we can, keep going with that. And the kids are, all the kids within our school district or in our area can benefit from our programs and our teachers and just excited about that and the collaboration with our community. So that's really it.
All right, welcome, Quinn. Really excited to have you with us. Congratulations, administrators, for starting off a successful school year. I was fortunate enough to be at Astor the first day of school. We have our child care facility over there for the Parks Department. And I think we probably have 40-ish kids from Astor. And pickup time is easy, pure chaos. But I was actually very impressed with how well things were going in the small gym. It was a lot, but I think Kate and her staff did a really nice job with that. Billy's not here anymore, but there were a few things that came up, some bees at Astor that were just going wild all over the place, and he's really quickly took care of those items, which was awesome. I didn't have any kids stung by bees. I think there was maybe a couple at Astor, and then I was actually able to go over to the middle school, maybe first or second day, and as always, Linda was running a very tight ship. Everything looked fantastic. Congratulations and excited for another school year.
Yep, welcome Quinn, welcome back everyone. Glad everything's going smooth. I'm, the data nerd in me is very fascinated to see about these kindergartners that are coming in, because they're the ones that were born when COVID hit. And so I'm. And so I'm just curious to see what we see with these little ones. And that's it. And poor bird.
Is it bird or?
Their feathers went everywhere. It's a bird. Yeah. Ouch. No.
It's coming to the light anyway.
Yeah, I probably, yeah, anyway. So, yes, welcome, Quinn. I'm excited to have you. I'll make sure you're fed next time. So that you can win us another state title. Yeah. I was gonna say too, I have actually a number of students that have come into this district, either from other districts or as new students this year, and have gotten a lot of really positive feedback, and that's really exciting. Just that the transition has been very smooth, and I think that part of it is that there are so many new students, and that has been embraced in a sense in the schools themselves. So, so thank you to all the administrators and all of the staff as well for creating that welcoming environment. So, because I know that transition can be hard when you're thinking that you don't know it. So anyway, that's all.
Welcome, Quinn. Thank you for being here tonight, a long night. And thank you all for first day, the first week. And I know my kids came home with a big smile on their faces, especially my junior, so I'm hoping this year is good. So we were there, Linda, for, the first day of orientation. We were in and out under 10 minutes.
I don't know how you did it.
Well, there was some racing going on then, But yeah, those lines get really, really long, so we got there a little bit early. So it was great. So, and I have high hopes for students and their cell phone use. I think we will be shocked at how responsible they are. So keep our fingers crossed for that. All right, that's all I have for tonight from me. Our future meetings will be Monday, September 29th. We have a PACE Regional Training OSBA Regional Meeting from 12 to 6 up here in the boardroom. And then on Wednesday, October 8th, we have our board study session at 5:45, followed by our regular board meeting at 7 o'clock. Okay. The Astoria School Board of Directors will now meet in an executive session under the authority of ORS 192.6602E to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions. Representative of the news and designated staff shall be allowed to attend executive session. All of the members of the office room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said about the subject during the executive session, except to speak the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and welcome the audience back into the room. Go back into open session.
Oh, yeah. We gotta stop.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We'll stay longer. Yes.